Hello YouTube and welcome back to another video here in the crafting cave. Today we will be doing a thank you card with some blended feathers and adhesive gems. Alright, let's get crafting. Alright, the materials you're going to need for this project is colored cardstock, a dark brown, a cream, and a white. You also need ink pads and blenders. I used the PMland Ink that I purchased from Amazon. I will leave a link in the description below. You also need the blenders for these ink pads. You need a dark blue, a light blue, and a silver. You also need a black fine tip marker. If you use a Cricut, then the Cricut marker works perfectly. You'll need double-sided tape, adhesive gems. I have clear, a light blue, and a darker blue. You'll need the cutting and drawing patterns to make this card. For the card pattern, I made my own. I have not yet put those up for purchase or anything, but you can use a pre-made card as well. The feather pattern I purchased from a store on Etsy. I'll leave the link in the description below. Of just a basic circle pattern and a thank you pattern, a drawn pattern, or a thank you stamp will work fine. I do use a Cricut to cut out all of these patterns. You can use whatever cutting machine you have, or I have done this cutting by hand before. Alright, let's get on to the project. Okay, to start with, we are going to be blending all of the components. I'm going to start with the inside piece of the card. Here I have an extra piece of paper that I am taping over the component of the card so that it only blends in the place that I want it to. Alright, to start the blending, we are going to start with the darkest color, the dark blue PMland Ink. We're just going to blend a bottom section of this. Alright, next we're going to use the light blue color. And with the light blue, we are going to blend slightly into the dark blue to blend it out to make the colors flow. And next we are going to use the silver ink. Now the silver ink close up, you can see the colored paper underneath, but it'll give it a silvery finish on the top. And I will be using the same blending process for each of the components that have multiple colors. And there it is. Alright, I'm going to use that same extra piece of paper and I'm going to be blending the color on the feathers now. I'm only going to be using 2 feathers for this card. You can use more or less feathers if you want to. But again, I'm going to start with the dark blue, then the light blue, and then the silver. Feathers and inside piece done, I'm now going to do the thank you. I first, the Cricut machine drew this font out. And I'm just going to quickly take one of the Cricut fine tip markers and I'm going to color it in. Okay, now I'm going to take the silver ink and I'm just going to color over it. You can use the light blue or the silver if you want. I liked how the silver looked better. Alright, with that I am done with the blues. And I will only need the silver for this next part. So I'm going to take the actual card piece. I'm going to put it under. And the part that's actually going to be the front of the card is the part that you want to use the ink on. So I'm going to tape the card down, that way it doesn't move. And I'm going to tape the extra piece of paper above it. Again, this is so that only the part you want colored with the ink is showing, so it doesn't bleed over onto the rest of the card. Alright, so I'm just going to take the silver and I'm just going to blend it over this entire piece of the card. Now, like I said, the color shows through, so what it's going to do is it's just going to give the dark brown a shiny silver finish. And I'm going to take a circle surface or a round surface and I'm just going to press on the crease again to make it have a firmer crease. And here are all your blended parts to this card. The feathers, the inside paper, the card itself, and the thank you message. Alright, so to start, we're going to first tape the inside piece of the card. And I like to use the permanent roll double-sided tape. You can use normal double-sided tape. I just find this to be thinner and it sticks a lot better. So we're just going to line it up. I cut this piece slightly smaller so you have a brown line all the way around it. And then you just smooth it on. For the ink, you can take the extra piece of paper to press it on if you didn't want to wait for it to dry all the way. So you just put it over the ink part and then press down. That way you don't get it all over your hands and the rest of the card. And there it is. And I'm gonna go over the crease one more time. Again, any rounded object works best as to avoid tearing the card. Alright, so now we're going to do the right hand flap. For this, I'm going to use double-sided tape, the roll tape again, and I'm just going to tape the little tab that's there. Again, this is part of the pattern that I created, but if you are using a pre-made card, then the size of this piece is 1 inch high and 2 inches wide. Alright, so I'm going to stick the circle onto this piece, the first circle. I did put it slightly over, you can line it up if you want to. And I'm just going to press it on there. And I'm going to take this second piece, which again is 1 inch high and 2 inches wide. I'm going to slide it into the slit. And you only want a little going through it just to keep the card closed. And then you fold this over. For this, I'm going to color the rest of the brown, that way it matches the front. Alright, now that it matches, I am now going to tape this strip to the circle. If you just hold it down, it should be pretty straight. Then you press it down to adhere it. And there you go. And again, I'm going to finish coloring the strip so it matches. There we go. Okay, now we're going to take the second circle and we're just going to tape it to the back of the first, that way you can't see the rest of the strips. To move on to putting the feathers and adhesive gems onto the card. You're going to take one of the feathers, and we're going to use double-sided tape on this one. Alright, we're going to place it on the circle. Okay. For the second feather, we are going to be using foam tabs to give it a little bit of a 3D dimension look. And I'm going to use 3 of these mini square foam tabs. it slightly over the first one. Like so. Okay, next we are going to be putting the thank you sentiment onto the card. For the thank you sentiment, we will be using both foam tabs and double-sided tape. Foam tabs will go over the first part of the thank you sentiment, as this is what's going to be going over the flat part of the feathers. And the double-sided tape you want to put about right between the thank and the you in the sentiment, because this is what's going to go over the lifted feather. And you could put it anywhere on the card you want. I'm going to put it down here. Like so. Okay. Next we are going to be putting on the adhesive gems, and this is the last step of the card. We have the clear ones. I am only using one clear one. You can switch them up as you see fit for your card. I'm just going to use the one clear right here. And this one will be paired with one of the darker blue ones. Okay, and now I'm going to just quickly put on the rest of them. And I usually alternate between the dark blue and the light blue. Finished card, the inside and the outside. Thank you for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe for more videos, and leave a comment down below on what you would like to see next. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you.